You ever notice how fashion drops sometimes feel pure spectacle, and other times they feel like a little movie you can wear? Today we're unpacking Willy Chavarria's bold move with Zara that aims to fuse cinema, culture, and streetwear into one cohesive capsule called Vatisimo. And yes, I'm going to break down what this means, why it matters, and where it could actually land with real people buying the clothes. Let me start with a field-level view. This isn't just a collaboration. It's a design filmmaker moment. Willy Chavarria, known for blending Chicano cultural references with political undercurrents, teams up with Zara, yes, the mass-market powerhouse, to produce a collection that sits at the intersection of elevated materials and accessible price points. The essence here is contrast, glamour and drama, but priced for a wider audience. Personally, I think that tension is the hook. What makes this really interesting is how it attempts to translate a designer's authentic, statement-driven vision into something retail-friendly without losing the edge. Now, what's actually in the line? We're talking 100 menswear pieces, 50 for women, plus accessories and jewelry. Materials range from leather and cupro to denim and knits. A few standout design choices pop up in the visuals: pencil skirts reimagined for women, short-sleeve cupro shirts with raw edges, and bags and belts crafted in premium leather. Roses, red roses, repeatedly tacked onto select garments, a signature motif that's both romantic and a little rebellious. The price range, roughly $25.90 to $529, signals a spectrum from core wardrobe staples to showy statement pieces. From my perspective, that spread is the real test. Can a consumer feel the designer's voice while still believing the pieces are everyday wearable? The film that accompanies the launch is a whole extra layer. Directed by Chavarria and Glen Luchford, it stars Christy, Turlington and Alberto Guerra in a Mexico-shot telenovela about a fatal love quadrangle. This isn't a mere promo video, it's a narrative playground meant to mirror the collection's dramatic energy. One thing that immediately stands out is the choice of cast: Christy, a longtime supermodel with gravity, stepping into a new, non-traditionally glam role. It signals that the project is about storytelling more than a simple fashion drop. In my opinion, the film acts as a tone setter. It legitimizes the capsule as cinematic fashion rather than just a product line. Chavarria describes the collaboration as a way to reach a wider audience at a more accessible price point, while keeping glamour and drama front and center. He emphasizes that the line was designed with characters in mind, drawing directly from the telenovela inspiration to shape silhouettes and fabric choices. What many people don't realize is how heavy the design process can be in a collaboration. You're balancing a creator's personal language with a retailer's constraints, inventory planning, and global distribution. If you take a step back and think about it, the result is a curated set of pieces that attempt to tell multiple stories at once: household workwear reimagined in premium materials, romantic suiting, and culturally specific iconography all blended together. Let's talk about the workwear reimagined. Chavarria highlights a cupro long-sleeve work shirt and chino pants as favorites. He notes that American workwear heavily influences the line, which is fascinating because it roots runway-level fashion in something fundamentally practical and recognizable. The underlying implication is that luxury can borrow from utility without losing its signature edge. A detail I find fascinating is how the materials choice, cupro, leather, denim, can shift how these pieces behave in real life: comfort, durability, and longevity. This isn't just about looking good on a catwalk or in a campaign, it's about a wardrobe that can sustain character-driven outfits for different occasions. Geography and retail strategy play a big role here too. Vatisimo launches with a pop-up at 73 Spring Street in New York, then transitions into a Zara Man store that will host rotating special collections through mid-June. Global availability will follow in select stores and online. This sequencing matters. The pop-up creates a theatrical unveiling, while the store-in-store approach leverages Zara's logistics and foot traffic. In my view, the timing and location strategy are very telling about Zara's ambitions to blend high-fashion storytelling with mass-market reach. The broader trend here is clear: more luxury-influenced storytelling attached to mainstream retail, done with a designer who isn't afraid to lean into social and cultural commentary. From a business lens, the collaboration makes sense for both sides. For Chavarria, it's an opportunity to extend brand visibility and test price elasticity across a larger audience. For Zara, it adds aspirational content that can drive traffic, engagement, and perhaps a halo effect for the entire Zara Man line. A potential risk, though, is dilution. When a designer's voice is so clearly tied to a political and cultural stance, does pairing with a fast fashion giant soften or distort that message? That's a live question, and one we should watch as consumers and critics react to how the pieces are worn in daily life, not just on camera. One more layer to consider: the cast and creative direction signal a broader shift in how fashion houses and retailers collaborate. It's not about a single product drop anymore, it's about building a mini ecosystem, a film, a pop-up, a capsule, and a global rollout that feeds into each other. If you're chasing retention on YouTube or in-store footfall, this kind of cross-media storytelling can be a powerful engine, provided the narrative stays legible to a diverse audience. So, what does this all mean for you and me as style watchers? My take: Vatisimo represents a push toward fashion as a living story rather than a static wardrobe. It's about a designer's personal mythology meeting a retailer's reach, translating to pieces that can live in more than one context. What I'm watching next is how customers actually adopt these pieces. Do they become regular wear, or do they function as character costume in a broader trend cycle? Personally, I'd love to see how these items age on real bodies, how the pink-tinted romance of the campaign translates to everyday life, and whether the brand's voice stays intact as it scales. To wrap, this collab isn't just a capsule, it's a narrative experiment with a runway to retail bridge. It raises bigger questions about authenticity, accessibility, and the future of fashion storytelling. If the tactic works, we'll see more designers pairing with retailers not just for product lines, but for cinematic experiences that redefine what a fashion drop can feel like. What do you think? Will Vatisimo be remembered as a clever fusion of cinema and streetwear, or as a clever marketing stunt that opened doors for more designer-led collaborations at mass-market price points? Drop your thoughts below and tell me which piece you're eyeing or which element you think will age best in real life.